Imagine walking through a frozen forest and suddenly stumbling across a massive creature with curved tusks and a thick coat of fur, as if time itself had folded back thousands of years. It sounds impossible, like a scene out of a science fiction movie, yet today's genetic breakthroughs are pushing us closer to reviving animals that disappeared long before the first cities ever rose. For centuries, extinct species were nothing more than shadows in ancient paintings, scattered bones in dusty museums, or legends whispered by explorers. But now, the same technologies that allow scientists to edit human DNA are being used to piece together the genetic codes of creatures that once dominated our planet. This isn't just a theory, it's a movement happening right now in research labs across the world. And here's where things get truly fascinating. The goal isn't only to satisfy human curiosity. Many researchers believe that bringing back certain animals could help restore damaged ecosystems, balance fragile habitats, and even fight the impact of climate change. In other words, these aren't just wild experiments, they are bold attempts to repair the very fabric of our natural world. Over the next few minutes, you'll join me on a journey through the lives of 10 extraordinary creatures that scientists are working to bring back from extinction. Some of them roam the icy tundras, others soared across the skies in numbers so vast they darken the horizon, and a few are feared predators that shaped the survival of our ancestors. Get ready, because this is not just history, it's the future knocking on our door. Before we dive into one of the most mind-bending topics in modern science, just take a second to make sure you are subscribed to this channel, so you don't miss the extraordinary discoveries and stories we are about to share with you. 1. Woolly mammoth. When most people picture the Ice Age, the first image that comes to mind is the towering woolly mammoth, covered in thick fur and carrying those incredible curved tusks. It wasn't just an animal, it was a symbol of survival, thriving in some of the harshest climates Earth has ever seen. For thousands of years, mammoths coexisted with humans, and traces of that connection remain in cave paintings, ancient tools, and even stories passed down through generations. To imagine such a creature walking the tundra again feels like opening a time capsule into our own origins. What makes the woolly mammoth such a strong candidate for revival is not just its popularity, but the quality of its preserved remains. Frozen carcasses have been discovered with flesh, hair, and even blood intact, making it possible for scientists to recover DNA that has survived for tens of thousands of years. Unlike many other extinct animals, mammoths left behind a genetic blueprint detailed enough for researchers to piece together. This is one of the reasons why the woolly mammoth has become the poster child for de-extinction projects. The plan to revive this giant isn't as simple as cloning. Instead, researchers are attempting something even more ambitious, editing the DNA of the Asian elephant, its closest living relative, and carefully inserting mammoth genes. The goal is to create a hybrid animal, one that has the cold-resistant traits of the mammoth but the survival capabilities of the elephant. This isn't about bringing back a museum piece, it's about building a creature capable of thriving in today's world. But why bring back the mammoth at all? For many scientists, the answer lies in ecology. Mammoths played a vital role in maintaining the frozen grasslands of the Arctic, knocking down trees and encouraging the growth of grasses that kept the permafrost stable. With climate change threatening to release massive amounts of carbon from melting permafrost, the reintroduction of mammoth-like creatures could actually help slow global warming. Imagine that, a prehistoric giant returning not as a relic of the past, but as a guardian of the planet's future. Of course, the idea also raises powerful emotions. The thought of standing face to face with an animal that once vanished forever stirs both wonder and unease. Is humanity ready to bring back what nature took away? And if we are, what responsibility do we carry in shaping the ecosystems of tomorrow? The woolly mammoth is not just a scientific project, it is a test of how far we are willing to push the boundaries of life itself. 2. Dodo. The dodo is perhaps the most famous symbol of human-caused extinction. Unlike the mammoth, which vanished due to shifting climates, the dodo's disappearance was directly tied to our arrival. Native to the island of Mauritius in the Indian Ocean, this flightless bird stood about 3 feet tall, with a round body, stout legs, and a large hooked beak. Early explorers described it as curious and tame, a creature that had never known predators until humans and the animals we brought with us arrived. Within just a few decades of discovery, the dodo was gone forever. What makes the dodo's story so powerful is how quickly abundance turned into absence. Historical records suggest that dodos were once plentiful, roaming the forests without fear. But sailors hunted them for food, invasive species raided their nests, and the destruction of their habitat sealed their fate. In less than a century, this unique bird went from thriving to extinct. Today, all we have left are scattered bones, old drawings, and the haunting legacy of a creature that vanished almost overnight. Reviving the dodo may sound like something out of a fantasy novel, but scientists are already taking real steps toward this possibility. By analyzing preserved bones and feathers, geneticists have been able to map large portions of the dodo's DNA. Their plan is to compare it with the genetic code of its closest living relative, the Nicobar pigeon, and use modern editing tools to engineer an embryo that could one day hatch a living bird. It's not about cloning the past exactly, but about rebuilding traits that made the dodo unique. The potential revival of the dodo carries more than just scientific curiosity, it carries a message. Bringing back this bird would remind us of the consequences of careless actions and the responsibility we hold toward vulnerable ecosystems. Imagine walking through the forests of Mauritius and seeing a dodo once more, an animal that became the very definition of extinction, now alive as a warning and a symbol of resilience. But this project also raises deeper questions. If humanity is capable of erasing species, should we also bear the duty of restoring them? Would a revived dodo truly belong in the modern world, or would it be little more than a living echo of the past? These are not just scientific challenges, but moral ones, and they make the story of the dodo one of the most compelling examples of why de-extinction matters. 3. Giant ground sloth. Imagine a creature the size of a small car moving slowly through the forests and grasslands of ancient South America. The giant ground sloth, often referred to as the Mylodon or Megatherium depending on the region, was a gentle giant that could reach lengths of up to 20 feet and weigh more than a ton. Unlike the tiny tree-dwelling sloths we know today, these colossal mammals walked firmly on the ground, using their massive claws to pull down branches, dig for roots, and defend themselves from predators. Their sheer size made them almost impervious to most threats, yet they eventually vanished from the earth, leaving behind only fossilized bones and tantalizing glimpses of their past. The fascination with the giant ground sloth comes not just from its size but from its remarkable adaptation to prehistoric life. Its powerful limbs and strong musculature allowed it to manipulate the environment in ways that shaped the forests and grasslands it inhabited. Early humans likely encountered these creatures, and evidence suggests that they hunted them for meat and possibly even used their bones for tools. The coexistence of humans and these massive mammals creates a vivid picture of a world that feels alien yet intimately connected to our own history. Today, scientists are studying preserved remains of the giant ground sloth to uncover the secrets of its DNA. Well-preserved tissue found in caves provides a rare window into the genetic blueprint of this species, offering clues about its metabolism, growth patterns, and resilience. With advances in genetic engineering, researchers hope to reconstruct a version of this sloth that could survive in modern ecosystems, giving us a chance to witness a living example of one of Earth's most extraordinary mammals. Reviving the giant ground sloth isn't just about fascination or novelty. Researchers believe that reintroducing such large herbivores could have profound ecological effects, similar to the impact of mammoths on tundra ecosystems. By consuming vegetation, dispersing seeds, and creating clearings, these animals could help restore balance to areas where megafauna once maintained environmental stability. A single revival project could ripple through entire ecosystems, reconnecting species interactions that were lost thousands of years ago. Yet, bringing back the giant ground sloth also challenges our imagination and ethical considerations. How would modern predators and humans interact with a creature of such immense size? Could we create safe habitats that allow it to thrive without disrupting existing ecosystems? These questions highlight the complex and exciting frontier of de-extinction, where science, history, and responsibility collide, offering us a rare glimpse into the possibility of undoing the mistakes of the past. 4. Cave lion. The cave lion was one of the most awe-inspiring predators to ever walk the earth. Larger and more muscular than today's African lions, These majestic cats roamed across Europe and Asia during the Pleistocene, stretching over 11 feet from nose to tail. Despite its name, the cave lion didn't live solely in caves. The name comes from the many fossils and cave paintings discovered in these hidden shelters. Seeing a creature of this magnitude stalking the icy plains must have been both terrifying and mesmerizing for early humans. Evidence of the cave lion's presence in human history is striking. Ancient cave paintings depict these predators in vivid detail, suggesting that humans both feared and revered them. These artworks reveal animals with short manes, powerful limbs, and piercing eyes, creatures capable of taking down large herbivores that shared the same environment. The fact that humans recorded their existence shows how influential these animals were in shaping early human culture, myths, and survival strategies. Remarkably, scientists have uncovered frozen specimens in Siberia, including nearly complete cubs with fur, skin, and organs preserved. These discoveries provide a unique opportunity to study the genetics, behavior, and anatomy of the cave lion in ways that were previously impossible. Researchers are exploring whether it might be feasible to bring the species back through advanced genetic techniques, possibly using modern lions as surrogates to create hybrids that carry the cave lion's distinctive traits. Reviving the cave lion would do more than resurrect a predator. It could alter our understanding of ecosystems and predator-prey dynamics. Large carnivores play a crucial role in maintaining ecological balance, controlling herbivore populations, and shaping landscapes. Reintroducing a species like the cave lion could restore some of the lost energy dynamics of Ice Age ecosystems, offering a living window into how Earth's environments functioned millennia ago. However, the ethical and practical challenges are immense. Could modern habitats support a predator of this size? How would it interact with existing wildlife and human populations? These questions make the cave lion not only a scientific pursuit but a symbol of the complex decisions humanity faces when attempting to rewrite the past. The possibility of seeing this magnificent cat roam the earth again is both exhilarating and humbling, reminding us of the extraordinary life that once thrived alongside our ancestors. 5. Smilodon, saber-toothed tiger. The Smilodon, famously known as the saber-toothed tiger, is one of the most iconic predators of the prehistoric world. With its massive canines, which could reach over 8 inches long, and a muscular body built for power and precision, this feline dominated the landscapes of the Americas during the Ice Age. Unlike modern big cats, Smilodon was specialized for ambushing large herbivores, relying on strength rather than speed to bring down prey such as giant sloths and bison. Imagining this predator stalking through ancient grasslands evokes a mix of awe and a chilling sense of danger. Fossil evidence tells a compelling story about Smilodon's social behavior. Excavations at tar pits in California reveal that injured individuals survived long enough to suggest that the species cared for one another, possibly hunting in groups and supporting injured members. This challenges the perception of these predators as solitary hunters and provides insight into the complexity of their social structures. Every discovery adds a layer of depth to our understanding of a creature that was as strategic as it was ferocious. Modern science has taken a keen interest in the Smilodon because its DNA has been remarkably well preserved in certain fossils. Researchers are analyzing these genetic sequences to explore the possibility of reconstructing aspects of its genome. The goal isn't merely to clone the past, but to understand how its unique adaptations, such as its jaw structure, muscular limbs, and hunting strategies, can be recreated in a living animal. Advanced genetic engineering in surrogate species could one day allow a form of this ancient predator to walk the earth again. Beyond the scientific intrigue, Smilodon represents a profound connection to ecosystems that have long vanished. Large predators like the saber-toothed tiger played a critical role in regulating prey populations, influencing the evolution of herbivores, and shaping the environments they inhabited. Bringing a creature like this back could provide insights into how apex predators impact ecosystems today, and how reintroducing megafauna might restore balance to damaged habitats. Yet, the prospect of reviving Smilodon also raises difficult questions. How would such a predator coexist with modern wildlife and human settlements? Could we provide safe and sustainable habitats for an animal designed for a world that no longer exists? These challenges highlight both the promise and the responsibility of de-extinction, showing that the story of Smilodon is not only about fascination with the past but also about shaping the future of our planet's ecosystems. 6. Passenger pigeon. The passenger pigeon was once an awe-inspiring force of nature, a bird so abundant that its flocks could darken the sky for hours as they migrated across North America. Estimates suggest that at the height of their population, there were over 5 billion of these birds, creating a spectacle that early settlers and explorers could scarcely believe. Measuring around 16 inches long with sleek gray-blue plumage and remarkable agility in flight, the passenger pigeon was not just another bird, it was a living symbol of abundance and ecological harmony. What makes the passenger pigeon's story so tragic is how rapidly it vanished. Within less than a century of European settlement, human activity caused its population to collapse entirely. Massive hunting expeditions, combined with deforestation and the destruction of nesting habitats, led to an ecological catastrophe. By the early 20th century, the once limitless flocks had dwindled to just a few individuals, culminating in the death of the last known bird, Martha, in a Cincinnati zoo in 1914. This extinction is a stark reminder of the consequences of unchecked exploitation of natural resources. Today, scientists are exploring the possibility of resurrecting the passenger pigeon through cutting-edge genetic engineering. By combining DNA recovered from preserved specimens with the genome of closely related pigeons, researchers aim to create embryos that could one day hatch into birds capable of restoring a fragment of the species. This project is not only about reviving the pigeon itself but also about reintroducing its critical ecological role, dispersing seeds, and maintaining the health of North American forests. The ecological implications of reintroducing the passenger pigeon are immense. These birds were keystone species, shaping forests through their feeding and nesting habits. Their return could revitalize habitats that have suffered decades of human impact, promoting biodiversity and supporting other species that relied on their presence. In essence, reviving the passenger pigeon could help repair ecological networks that have been missing for more than a century. Yet, the ethical and logistical challenges remain daunting. Could modern ecosystems support flocks of billions again? How would these birds adapt to environments that have changed so dramatically? These questions make the passenger pigeon's potential resurrection one of the most compelling and thought-provoking stories in the field of de-extinction, blending science, conservation, and the haunting beauty of what once was. 7. Tasmanian tiger, thylacine. The Tasmanian tiger, also known as the thylacine, was one of the most enigmatic predators of Australia and Tasmania. Despite its nickname, it wasn't a tiger at all but a carnivorous marsupial, with a dog-like build, distinctive stripes along its back, and a jaw that could open at an astonishing angle. Active mainly at night, this solitary hunter fed on small mammals and birds, moving with a stealth and precision that made it a master of its environment. Its existence was a reminder of the incredible diversity of life that evolved in isolation on the southern continents. Tragically, the arrival of European settlers marked the beginning of the thylacine's decline. Hunted as a threat to livestock, the species faced relentless persecution, and habitat destruction further diminished its numbers. By the early 20th century, sightings became rare, and the last known individual died in captivity at the Hobart Zoo in 1936. The thylacine's extinction became a symbol of human impact on wildlife, demonstrating how quickly a species can vanish when it is misunderstood and mistreated. Modern science has sparked hope for the thylacine's return. Using DNA extracted from preserved specimens, researchers are exploring ways to reconstruct its genome and possibly create a living animal through advanced genetic techniques. By comparing the thylacine's genetic makeup with that of closely related marsupials, scientists aim to piece together the traits that made this predator unique. The work is painstaking and complex, but the possibility of seeing this ghost of the past roam again is a powerful motivation. Reviving the thylacine is not just about bringing back a single species, it is about restoring ecological balance. As a top predator, the thylacine played a crucial role in controlling populations of smaller mammals, shaping vegetation, and influencing the structure of its environment. Reintroducing it could have cascading benefits for ecosystems that have been missing their apex predator for nearly a century, offering lessons in resilience and conservation. However, the challenges are enormous. scientists must ensure that any reintroduced thylacines could survive in habitats that have dramatically changed and that their presence would not disrupt current ecosystems or human activity. Yet, the thought of witnessing a creature once thought lost forever returning to the wild captures the imagination and embodies the promise and responsibility of modern conservation and genetic science. 8. Moa. The moa was a truly colossal bird that once roamed the forests of New Zealand, reaching heights of nearly 12 feet and weighing over 200 kilograms. Flightless and imposing, these giant birds were part of a unique family of ratites, closely related to the kiwi, ostrich, and emu, yet they evolved into creatures that resembled walking dinosaurs with feathers and robust limbs. Their sheer size and strength made them the dominant herbivores of their ecosystems, shaping the vegetation and influencing the balance of life around them in ways we are only beginning to understand. The story of the moa's extinction is closely intertwined with the arrival of humans in New Zealand. The Maori, arriving around the 11th century, hunted these birds extensively for food, feathers, and tools. Unlike other regions where predators existed to keep populations in check, moas evolved without fear of humans, making them easy targets. Over several centuries, hunting, combined with habitat destruction, led to their complete disappearance, leaving only fossilized remains and oral histories to tell the story of these giants. Remarkably, the preservation of moa bones, feathers, and even fragments of DNA offers scientists a rare opportunity to study and potentially revive them. By analyzing their genetic sequences, researchers can identify key traits and compare them to living relatives such as the emu or the cassowary. Advanced genetic engineering might one day allow scientists to develop embryos that could hatch into birds resembling the moa, restoring a link to New Zealand's prehistoric past. The ecological impact of reviving the moa could be significant. These birds were important seed dispersers and vegetation managers, maintaining the health and diversity of their habitats. Their return could help regenerate forests and re-establish ecological processes that have been absent for hundreds of years. In this sense, bringing back the moa would not only be a scientific marvel but also a step toward repairing ecosystems disrupted by human activity. Yet, reintroducing such a massive and specialized species comes with challenges. How would a living moa adapt to modern predators, climate change, and altered landscapes? Could conservationists create safe habitats for these birds to thrive without negatively impacting current ecosystems? These questions highlight the incredible complexity of de-extinction, making the moa a symbol of both human ingenuity and responsibility in shaping the future of our planet. 9. Dire wolf. The dire wolf, a true giant among predators, roamed the landscapes of North America during the late Pleistocene. Larger and more robust than modern gray wolves, dire wolves could weigh up to 80 kilograms and possessed jaws powerful enough to crush bones with ease. Their muscular bodies, sharp teeth, and keen senses made them apex predators, capable of taking down large herbivores such as bison, horses, and even young mammoths. Encountering a pack of these formidable hunters would have been both terrifying and awe-inspiring for early humans. Fossil evidence provides an extraordinary glimpse into the lives of dire wolves. Thousands of specimens have been uncovered in the La Brea tar pits of California, revealing details about their anatomy, hunting strategies, and even social behavior. Unlike some solitary predators, dire wolves likely lived and hunted in packs, cooperating to secure prey and care for injured members, demonstrating a level of social complexity that rivals modern wolves. Each fossil tells a story of survival, competition, and adaptation in a world dominated by giants. Modern genetic research has unlocked new possibilities for the dire wolf's revival. By analyzing well-preserved DNA and comparing it with that of modern canines, scientists are exploring ways to identify the unique genes that define this extinct species. The goal is not simply to clone the past but to reconstruct an animal that embodies the traits of its prehistoric ancestors, from its bone-crushing bite to its formidable endurance in harsh environments. Advanced gene editing and surrogacy techniques could one day bring a version of this predator back to life. The ecological role of dire wolves was critical. As apex predators, they helped maintain balance within their ecosystems by controlling herbivore populations, which in turn shaped vegetation patterns and biodiversity. Reintroducing a species like the dire wolf could provide insights into how ecosystems recover when apex predators return, potentially offering lessons for modern conservation efforts. Their presence would not only revive a species but could also restore lost dynamics in nature. Yet, bringing back the dire wolf raises difficult questions. How would these powerful predators interact with today's wildlife and human populations? Could we ensure that they thrive without causing unforeseen disruptions? These challenges emphasize the responsibility inherent in de-extinction, making the dire wolf a compelling example of both the promise and the caution required when attempting to rewrite the past through science. 10. Woolly rhinoceros. The woolly rhinoceros was a remarkable survivor of the Ice Age, built to withstand freezing temperatures and harsh landscapes. Covered in thick brown fur and supported by a massive layer of fat beneath its skin, this enormous herbivore could weigh up to 2 tons and sported a huge, curved horn used to sweep snow aside and uncover vegetation. With its stocky build and rugged appearance, the woolly rhino was a living powerhouse, perfectly adapted to the frozen plains of Eurasia, coexisting with both humans and other megafauna such as the woolly mammoth. Evidence from prehistoric cave paintings shows that humans not only hunted the woolly rhinoceros but also held a fascination for it, portraying its strength and form with astonishing accuracy. Fossils discovered in Siberian permafrost often include preserved skin and hair, giving scientists a rare opportunity to study its anatomy and genetic material. This wealth of information makes the woolly rhinoceros one of the most viable candidates for modern de-extinction efforts, alongside other Ice Age giants. Scientists are exploring ways to use preserved DNA to recreate a hybrid animal, potentially using the modern Sumatran rhinoceros as a surrogate. The goal is not merely to replicate the past but to bring back a species capable of surviving in today's climate and contributing to ecosystem restoration. By carefully selecting genetic traits that improve cold resistance and adaptability, researchers hope to engineer a woolly rhino that could roam the tundra much like its ancestors did thousands of years ago. The ecological benefits of reintroducing the woolly rhinoceros could be profound. Like the mammoth, these rhinos helped maintain open landscapes by grazing and trampling vegetation, promoting biodiversity and shaping the terrain. Bringing them back could restore balance to degraded habitats, support other wildlife, and even influence carbon cycling in permafrost regions. In this sense, reviving the woolly rhinoceros is not just about fascination, it's a strategic effort to repair ecosystems that have been missing key players for millennia. Yet, the project is fraught with challenges. How would these colossal animals adapt to a modern world altered by climate change and human activity? Could they coexist safely with existing species and human populations? These questions underscore the delicate balance of de-extinction science, blending ambition with caution. The woolly rhinoceros embodies the awe-inspiring potential of humanity's ability to reconnect with the past and reshape the future of life on Earth. As we reflect on these incredible creatures, from the woolly mammoth to the woolly rhinoceros, we are reminded of the fragility and resilience of life. Each species tells a story not just of survival, but of coexistence, adaptation, and the profound impact humans have had on our planet. The thought that these giants, once lost forever, could potentially walk the earth again is both exhilarating and humbling, challenging us to reconsider our role in the natural world and the responsibility we carry toward future generations. Reviving extinct species is not merely a scientific experiment, it is a mirror reflecting our capacity for creativity, ingenuity, and care. It forces us to ask difficult questions. Can we correct the mistakes that led to these extinctions? Can we restore balance to ecosystems that have suffered for centuries? The pursuit of de-extinction blends curiosity with conscience, reminding us that the power to change the course of life is in our hands, but so is the accountability to wield it wisely. The stories of these 10 animals also reveal a deeper truth. Extinction is not only about loss, but about opportunity. Every frozen mammoth, preserved dodo bone, and fossilized moa carries lessons for science, conservation, and humanity itself. By understanding these species, their behaviors, and their interactions with the world, we gain insights into how ecosystems function, how species influence one another, and how we might better protect the life that still surrounds us today. Yet, perhaps the most profound realization is that these creatures, long gone from sight, are far from irrelevant. They ignite imagination, fuel scientific innovation, and inspire reflection on the delicate web of life. Their potential return is a reminder that the natural world is not fixed, that the line between past and present can blur, and that what seems impossible today may shape the world of tomorrow. It challenges us to dream bigger, care more, and act with intention. If this journey through time and science has captivated you, don't let it end here. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you never miss the astonishing discoveries and stories we explore together. Leave a like if this video inspired you, and share your thoughts in the comments. What animal would you most want to see brought back to life? Your curiosity fuels the conversation, and together we can continue to uncover the extraordinary mysteries of our world.